Hey, what's going on? GHL Mastery. Once again, another live today, but this one is a special one because we are going to be interviewing and highlighting. I can't say this, I'll say it in public, but this is one of our favorite GHL Mastery VIP students, and we're going to cover a little bit of why that is as we go along here. But Devon is one of the OG GHL Mastery students from when we launched, like 5 or 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And he's still kicking around. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and why he's still kicking around. But guys, as always, let's get in the habit. If you are watching this live, we are live using StreamYard. So if you do comment and let us know that you're here, we can see it. There's a little link that says allow StreamYard to share your name. If you want us to know who you are when you're commenting or asking any questions on the stream, please make sure that you just accept that and turn it on so that we can see your name. Otherwise, it's just going to show Facebook user. But what I wanted to do today is I wanted to get Devon on because Devon is the epitome of, just learn something and get stuff done. And I was having a conversation earlier today about, when you go and you purchase an education of any kind, whether that's a course, whether you're paying for a college degree or a university degree, you can pay for that thing, but if you do nothing with it, you're wasting your money. And that's not the course's fault. That's not the university's fault. That's 100% on you. And what Devon has done with our program is awesome. Because what Devon does is he listens, he shows up, he asks questions, and then after he's done asking questions and finding the solutions, he just goes and gets it done. So we're gonna cover a little bit of Devon's journey over the past 5-6 months. And obviously this is titled, Devon's journey to quitting his 9 to 5. We're almost there. We're
Getting close.
almost there.
Getting close.
And so I wanted to kind of highlight, the efforts that you've put in with the Highlevel platform, kind of talk a little bit about what you've built, why you've built it the way that you have, and then kind of your process that you're going through. But I wanna start by asking you a few questions. Are you ready for this, Devon?
Oh yeah, let's shoot. Let's go ahead, go. Let's roll.
Okay, cool beans. So anybody who's in the GHL Mastery Group is either knows what Highlevel is or is considering, adding Highlevel. You were already using Highlevel before you came in touch with us, and so I want you to kind of break down as best you can, like what before you found us, what were some of the things that you had tried to kind of level up your business and your game in order to get to that quitting the 9 to 5 job. What were some
Okay.
of the things that you were working with and working on, other programs you joined?
Well, I want to start out with this whole entire journey started out. I seen an ad on Facebook or wherever the heck it was there about a year ago, actually, that says, we'll train you how to do this marketing. We'll give you the platform and you'll be able to do it in like a month. Okay. Well, come to find out, didn't quite work out that way. But
Never does.
so I got into using Highlevel, and the training that I was with really didn't go over like how you build these workflows or build these amazing tools inside of this platform. Like it didn't really go over that. So I started in September and I went all the way until I met you guys until what was it, April, May, somewhere around there. Didn't have a clue what I really had in my hands. And then we started having conversations. I was like, oh, well, can you do this and this because of what you just said? And then you're like, well, yeah. And then we'd implement it and they just started snowballing from there, coming up with these amazing tools. And now we're able to provide these tools that we've built to our clients, which has been super handy.
And when you saw that Facebook ad to get this program and get the tool and all this sort of stuff, can I ask you, like, how much did you pay for that program?
Oh, way too much. A significant amount of money that I'm still paying on. But
Oh,
I always say this though, like, and a lot of us have been in that group before, and I always say this: if it wasn't for the group that I originally got in, I wouldn't be doing what I am today. So I am very thankful for it. So yes, I could have took that money and done something else with it, but I'm very, very thankful for it because if it wasn't for what I did first, I wouldn't have got into it, and I wouldn't have met you guys, and I wouldn't have built what I have, and seeing the world just climbing from here. So.
I think that that's an important mindset thing that anybody who's trying high level needs to understand is that, you know, it might not be perfect right out of the gate. You probably are going to spend some money. I mean, when I first started, I spent a little over $4,500 just to get things figured out in like different courses and different snapshots and funnels and just to figure it out. Um, all the snapshots that I bought sucked. And I had to figure out how to rebuild them. But what I was able to do with that is learn the methodology that different people used to build in Highlevel. So was that a waste of $4,500? Absolutely not,
Hmm.
because that taught me incrementally, step by step, you know, how to actually develop my own systems and my own solutions. So I think that's a very important mindset, that sometimes you're going to buy into something and you're going to feel like it was a complete waste of money. But when you take little steps every single time, you know, that first step is always really hard, and
Hmm.
you feel like you're really having to just grind through and push through. But eventually, as you start taking that same step over and over and over and over and over again, it gets super, super easy. And then the next thing is hard. So there's always going to be hard. But if you continue to push through
Absolutely.
those hard things become easier and easier, and that's how you level up over time.
Right, absolutely. It's like it never fails that like as soon as you think you've succeeded in solving that one problem, then all of a sudden that one problem you solved leads into the next one. And then they just keep leveling up. Um, and having a group that like you guys, when I run into those problems, I was able to jump on the calls and be like, hey, you know, I got this situation. How would you address this in your business or your platform or how you got it set up? And then you guys would give me ideas, and then I would generally take your ideas, implement it to how I wanted it to set up because there's multiple ways to do what you want to do in Highlevel. So I take it how I makes sense to me, implement it, and it solves my problem, and it's like, oh man, it's great, it's great.
Yeah, for sure. So okay, so you started with Highlevel because you saw an ad, you bought into a group where they gave you Highlevel, they gave you the platform, they probably gave you some training. Why were you still stuck? And then why did you end up choosing to take a chance on us?
So my big thing is, and this is really a big personal thing for me, is like when I buy into a group or a coach or whatever, I need constant ability to ask a question because when I ask something, I need it answered now because there's a reason. Like I'm in the middle of building something, and if I have to wait a week to get a response, then that's a week that I just wasted. And like when you guys first started, we were talking a little bit here and there, and then I got into the group, and then like you and Brennan both were like able to answer my questions really quickly, which is super valuable to be able to get those answers because then you can solve your problems and then move on to the next one. That right there is one of the main reasons why giving you guys a chance or whatever was the perfect solution because one, I had no idea what I really had in Highlevel at all. Like I knew what it was, but I didn't realize like the amount of businesses you can build on one single platform is insane. And the things that you can build and all that, I would have never known any of that without joining into the VIP group. So that the hands-on coaching that you guys provided and all the extra stuff is definitely the reasons why I got into it.
Sweet. And what kinds of things did you learn in the first, because I mean, you took off quick, right? Like you showed up to like 3 or 4 calls, you asked a ton of questions, and then all of a sudden, like within a week, you had this phenomenal system that you were starting to develop. So what were some of the things that you learned on those calls by asking those questions that you feel like you probably wouldn't have learned anywhere else? Can you pinpoint any of those?
The main thing that I've learned is that you literally can automate anything that you want. And on that note, when you talk to your clients that you're working with, and they're just like, well, I'm having to do this, this, and this to get to this point. And then it's like, how can I eliminate all these steps that you're taking so that way you could just only have to do the last thing, which is sell your client or provide the service that you want to provide. Um, and just all those things that they just kind of stacked up, and I was able to develop a solution to one of my clients' problems, and it turned into this big thing.
What was that solution?
So I developed a product. We're calling it MetRing. So this service and what it really is essentially it automates the whole entire process from uh, customers calling in. Or I'm sorry, let me restart this. So essentially, what happens is when a customer books an appointment, okay, that appointment will automatically go into an automated system where the contractor will never have to actually call that customer. Okay. So say if that appointment's at 5 o'clock. So it's going to go through the notification. It's going to remind the customer. It's going to remind the contractor about the appointment throughout the whole entire day. And then at 5 o'clock, when that appointment comes up, the MetRing system is actually going to call the contractor at 5 o'clock because contractors are always busy, so you never know what they're really doing. So at 5 o'clock, it's going to ring their phone and say, "Hey, you have this appointment with this customer about this estimate," and we'll get to that a little bit about this estimate. Can you take this call? And they'll be able to hit one to connect with the customer and move on with their lives and connect and get the sale done and all that. But say if they're not able to actually talk to that customer right then and there, what happens is our MetRing system will automatically recognize that that call was not connected with the customer, and it will send out an apology message within like 10 minutes to this customer saying, "Hey, we really appreciate your interest in our services. We're sorry we couldn't connect to your call." And they'll send another message out and say, "Hey, you know what? We're going to offer you a discount of whatever the contractor decides on to re-engage this customer to submit another appointment scheduling." Because save 10%. So say if it's 10% off a roof, they're going to get that discount. Like, "Hey, we'll give you 10% off your roof if you rebook with us. We're really sorry." That's more incentive. So essentially, all that is automated so the contractor does not have to do anything. And if it wasn't for you and Brennan, I would have never even had the idea in the first place. And I would have maybe got it figured out. But you guys made it super simple to be like asking you questions and stuff to actually get it done. And the cool part about the whole entire system is they literally never have to touch Highlevel because all the appointment information and all the extra information that we collect automatically goes into their Google Calendar or their iPhone or calendar, whatever it is. It'll automatically go there so they don't have to do anything. They don't have to track appointments. They don't have to track the estimate values. It's all right in the calendar. And like I said, if it wasn't for you guys, I probably wouldn't even had the idea in the first place.
That's awesome. So I've seen MetRing, and I've built some pretty complex structures and systems myself. And when you sent me over your MetRing snapshot to look over, I was like shocked and amazed at all the level of back-end complexity. But as I'm going through the workflows and the complexity that you've built, I started to realize what you just said. Like every piece of complexity that is inside this workflow actually doesn't matter to the client. The client never sees it. You've built an entire system that they never have to touch.
Right.
Which to me is like one of the epitomes of Highlevel. And I remember, about a month ago, I actually interviewed Richard Worley where we were talking about exactly this, right? Like, how do you take Highlevel to supplement existing systems that a customer is already using? Well, you've done exactly that, right? Your clients do not need to know that
Right.
you're using the Highlevel platform.
Right. Absolutely. So I made it so they never have to touch anything. All they have to even I take it even goes a step further than that with like the ads and the estimator system that we're using with you guys. Like it's all automated. So all they literally have to do is press one to connect to that customer. And if they don't, they already know that a discount is going to get sent to them to get them re-engaged to book. Your automated system that you guys provided with your AI system, I took that, put my own spin on it. Now it's all AI automated. Like there is nothing in the contractor's life with our system that they have to touch other than pick up that phone.
Love it. What would you, if you had to pick one thing about one, how do I want to phrase this one? If you had to pick one thing about the calls, because one of the things that we do inside the GHL Mastery private group, like you've never taken a course from us, have you?
No, I
They don't
never.
they don't exist.
Mhm.
Everything that we do is live, real time calls where you can get your answers answered like
Right.
ASAP, right? So you've been on probably more calls than anybody else. And Brendan and I always know when Devon shows up, get ready. He's got a question. Um, what would you say is probably some of the key things that you've experienced and just in terms of like getting on those calls? What have the benefits been to you to show up?
So I want to remind everybody, I still work a full-time job. So half the time, I'm not even able to attend the meetings like at the beginning. Like it's a 2-hour meeting you guys provide. I can only show up for an hour, but the rest of the first part of the meetings, I always have it playing in the background, so I'm listening to it. And the things that you guys talk about with like webinar snapshots and your email processing and things like that, it gives me ideas of what I can implement and make things better inside the system that I have. And being involved in the calls and not you don't even have to ask a question, just observe and watch and see the mind-blowing things that like other other marketers are wanting to implement, and you guys come in and like throw some ideas and spins on it. Like it's crazy the amount of things that you can do with Highlevel, and I would have never known anything about it if it wasn't for attending those calls. Like those calls are absolutely key to the reason why MetRing was built in the first place.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that we try to do in those group calls, so everything is live streamed. So if anybody has a question, we're going to answer that question. But one of the reasons that we do that is because we know instinctively, like if somebody has that question, other people have that question.
Right.
And one of the things that we try to teach and we try to get people to learn is like not just, hey, can Highlevel do this thing, but to start to think about how to think about Highlevel. Like it sounds weird to say that, but
Right.
when you know the ins and outs of how everything works, custom fields, custom values, workflows, if statements, you can start to think of how the system can actually work to do crazy things. And I think that what I love about MetRing is that you took all of those thinking about how it can work and you just implemented every single one of those things that you learned and just threw it into your system, and it's a system that runs on its own. It's
Right.
phenomenal. um okay, so I want you to give me a 30-second pitch on, if somebody is in your shoes 4 months ago or even right now, I want you to give them a 30-second pitch on why they should join GHL Mastery. No
Oh,
pressure. You're gonna
30 seconds.
this is
So
recorded and it's gonna go on all of our
I
advertising.
I say this every time I see a question on the just so this is about Highlevel. So that you have the Highlevel community. Anytime I see a question on the Highlevel community, my first impulse is to answer that question, and then I realize, well, Adam and Brennan have already answered it. Go to their free group, get in their free group and get the answers. And if you need more specific training on the situation, join the VIP group and get those questions answered every Wednesday or every other Monday. Like you literally have a call that you can count on every week to get your solutions fixed live. Like this is unlike most other training groups out there, as most of it's like pre-recordings or it's just this like it's just basically not even the creators talking into them half the time anymore. But with you guys, it's you showing how to do it live, free training, like it you literally can't go wrong with that. Go wrong with it.
Awesome. Do you if somebody was on the fence about maybe joining, and I'm gonna plug a little bit here and then we'll call it a day. But today is the last day that you guys can get anybody watching this right now. So if you're watching this on YouTube on the replay, sorry, this probably isn't available anymore. But today is the last day that you can get into the group for a 30-day trial for $47. Why should somebody do that?
It was for every single reason I just said. Like it is 47 like for 40 literally people charge thousands of dollars for what you're charging for $47 right now. Like, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I know people who charge thousands of dollars to do what you're doing, and you guys are only doing it for $47 right now. Like, that is a huge deal. Like, that's cheap, and even your guys' full price is killer because, like I said, people charge way too much for what they do.
We get, the questions that we get a lot, and I'll try to answer this right here, right now. But one of the questions we get a lot is like, "Hey, I've got Extendly or I've got HL Pro Tools. How are you guys different?" Have you experienced either of those two things?
So I had Pro Tools, and it literally wouldn't work for me because nothing that I have made sense to them. They
Right.
their techs had no idea about NetRing. Like, they look at it, you looked at it, and you were confused about it for a little bit until you really like sat there and delved through it. But like, and you expect like a service like Pro Tools to be able to go through it and like understand it when they don't commit to like understanding your whole entire system. It's just not going to work. But like, I've worked with you guys, you kind of understand how I work and how I've built things. Like, it just makes more sense because it's a customized thing that you guys can understand.
Yeah. And I mean, the key difference between those services and what we do is those services are often white label support,
Right.
right? So if you've got clients, they can go to the white label support to get help, which I think is an absolutely valuable service in the right context. But what we offer and what we provide is actual agency level support,
Right.
right? So what are you trying to accomplish? What answers are you trying to find? Let's get them answered right now. So, Devon, you're the freaking man. I love your I'll just do it attitude. Every single time you come into a call, and I'm not kidding. Like, Devon showed up for every call for the first like 2 months, and every time he showed up, he would ask a question, and then he would just, we'd answer it as best we could, and then by the next day, he's already messaging us about this the new thing that he added. So the difference maker is the fact that you ask your questions, you get an answer, and then you implement it. And that is how you just see steady growth. Now, I'm going to finish off with this. This whole thing is about your journey to quit your 9 to 5. We're close. How close?
Oh, I'm thinking here in the next month. We're real close. I got some other things that not necessarily high level related. I gotta get a little trained up with some sales stuff, but we're getting real close.
And that's like what, 6 months? Well, less than 6 months into working with us.
Oh
But your
yeah,
your goal
yeah.
your goal was to quit your job at the end of August, and we're coming up to the end of August.
So
And
on that subject, literally, if it wasn't for joining this group, I would. There's no way I could say it was in a month because I was just selling what everybody else was selling, just Facebook, Google, whatever. I'm selling a complete solution where you literally do not have to do anything, like in your contracting business. Like, I
and
would
not
have
and
never
not
had
only
that.
that, I'm going to plug you a little bit. Not only are you selling a unique solution here, but I also think that you're selling a solution that 95% of high-level agency owners could not have built themselves. And I'm not trying to plug myself here at all, because this is what you have done, right? And I think that that's when we talk about creating a high level mastery group and people who use high level at a high level. You're the perfect example of that, where we have ideas, we have trainings, we can show you how to do certain things and make it do backflips, but then you take it and you make it your own. And it genuinely is something that I would not have thought about to create the way that you did. So I've got to give you props where props are due, man. You've taken every little bit of training and you've made it your own. And you are now selling a solution that I genuinely believe 95% of high level users could not have conceived and could not have built. So congrats to you, man.
I appreciate it. It was a lot of trial and error because you got it with something like that. You have to find all the problems that could possibly go wrong when you're automating something that massive. And we spent a lot of time going through things that, like, I still every like once a month I might get like a glitch and be like, oh, well, we can fix it real quick. But if it wasn't for all them hours that I spent fixing all those, like catching all those potential problems, it would have been a disaster. But yeah, I really appreciate the whatever you want to call it,
The plug.
the plug. There you go.
Awesome, Devon. Thanks so much, man. I'm stoked to talk to you again on Monday and again on Wednesday. And, I'm always excited to see what next things you're adding to your solutions, because they are genuinely next level. And I mean it when I say, like, your brain works different. And so there's solutions that you've come up with that I would never have thought of. Could I have built it? Yeah, I could have, if I thought of it. But the way that you're just implementing is next level. Love it. So,
Right.
If you are interested in joining the GHL Mastery VIP group on the $47 trial, which is going to be gone tomorrow, it's going to be going up to $97 because we obviously have to slow the flow a little bit because of the hands-on nature of what we do. I will be posting the link on YouTube and on Facebook so that you can get the trial price right now. And get in there before tomorrow, because I think we've got less than 10 hours before that price goes up. So hop in there and let's get her done. Devon, thank you so much, man.
Anytime, buddy.
I appreciate
Anytime.
you, and I'm excited to continue to grow this thing. And I'm excited for the day that you say, "Hey, Adam, check it. I quit my job."
Oh, everybody's gonna
We're
know
close. We're
it.
close.
We're close. Everybody's gonna know it.
Awesome, man. Thank you. We will talk to you this week, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Take care, man.
Yep.
Bye.